Cool. All right. Welcome to Secrets Revealed Bodybuilding Podcast with Sean Hypes and Ryan Palmberg. We got an agenda today. So I know the first podcast we did last week was a little kind of all over the place. So Sean and I sat down, we made an agenda. The topic's going to be how to approach weight management yourself without a coach, and then client and coach relationships. And then we got some questions at the end that people submitted on Instagram. So what's going on, man? What's new this week? Anything happen?
I've just been working on the addition a lot. A lot of work at my standard job. We lost 26 million gallons of sewage into the James River.
Holy shit.
Yeah, big
What do
sewer.
you, like sewage? What are you talking about? Like you talking about like piss and shit and
Everything that leaves your house and businesses, all of it. It's
nice.
a 36-inch sewer force main from 1944.
Oh, okay, cool. So go swimming and fishing in the St. James River.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're gonna have some big fish next season. Real big.
If it's coming out of your toilet, they might be pretty big. What happened to me? Dude, so I traveled down to Virginia to see my mom over the holidays, 7-hour drive there, 7-hour drive back. Then the day after I got back, I did a 3-hour drive back and forth to Long Island to pick up a new abductor adductor machine. So it was a shit ton of sitting. I couldn't sleep for like the first like 3 or 4 days. My back was it was this crazy ache. It wasn't like not like a sharp pain, but just a crazy dull ache. So I couldn't sleep, and I went to train back. And as soon as I would like load any kind of weight on my posterior chain, like for instance, the first thing I did was a 1-arm barbell row. My entire posterior chain just like lit up. It just felt like it didn't want to stretch, couldn't move, and so I had to go down to my buddy in North Haven, which is about an hour and a half drive from me, and he had to work with me. So it was like I think we talked about it. It was ended up being my glute medius was tight, my piriformis was super tight, and then a little bit of the lateralis itself was super tight. So just some manual therapy there, and so hopefully back training this week will be good. Feels better.
Hey, that's all. That's all that matters. I don't know how people that have desk jobs they can do stuff after work. Like I can't do. If I sit down in class all day for at work, I'm done. Like I might as well not even work out that day. My
Yeah,
body just doesn't feel right.
yeah. No, I'm conditioned to it now. I mean, I'm sitting here on my computer for 8 hours a day, pretty much. But I get up now that I'm working from home. It's nice because I can get up and walk around.
I say,
And
how often do you get up and walk around and just do something to get moving?
it's not timed. It's just whenever I'm kind of like dazing off, looking around, doing not really being too productive. I'll get up and walk around. So
Okay.
yeah, but I mean, really, you should probably every like 15 minutes probably get to walk around for at least a minute. But cool, man. Let's get into the topic. So the first topic is how to approach weight management by yourself. So this is we're approaching this in the sense of you are new to the gym, new to the fitness lifestyle, and you don't want to do a coach. You just want to kind of approach this by yourself. So how would you help someone if you were to give someone some guidance? If there's someone new watching this podcast, how would you tell them to approach this?
Step by step basis. Don't make any crazy moves. Don't even look things up online. You need to be smart with what you do, and a lot of it's common sense. I tell people all the time, step one is to me the easiest step. Cut out all liquid BS. The only things you should be consuming is water and coffee. There's no need for you to have beer, full flavor sodas constantly. When you cut that out, you get your body going with all these correct fluids. Everything gets ran better. You drop weight, you drop it's water weight, but of course that's weight dropped. All that starts moving, and then you start picking out a good breakfast. Honestly, I ran into a lot of times people don't eat breakfast, so I'll even tell people, look, just get you a Jimmy Dean biscuit. Get your stomach ready to eat something in the morning.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
work at you don't have to be hardcore, as most people say, and get egg whites and all this stuff. Just work on something simple and healthy, but just make sure you do have your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats involved in it. And then slowly just make steps from there. Make changes. Instead of having a bad meal every night like most people would, do it every 3-4 days. Just make small steps and progression towards your diet.
Yep. Yep. Now, so you said no. You said cut out all drinks aside from like coffee and water, right? So how do you feel about like sugar-free drinks or diet sodas? Like we drink our little thing every night is those little ice waters. It's like a sparkling water flavor.
I actually had one for the first time last night at my mom's.
They're delicious.
It was coconut pineapple, I think. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, they're good.
I would still say no to those at the beginning because they still are in use of bad habits.
Yep.
So if you give them that, that's what they're going to be drinking all day. You'll have someone that's going to drink 2 big gulps of Diet Coke,
Yep.
and that's going to be their fluid intake until you learn that that's all you need, and you can be a little bit more disciplined on yourself. Then there's nothing wrong having Diet Coke every once in a while. That's like me during the summer. I cut the grass, do something outside during the weekend. That's when I'll sit down with a cold Diet Coke,
Yep.
something like that. But until you instill that discipline, just keep it very basic.
Yeah, I agree, man. I've got my own little like formula for this. But to start off, the first step in anyone kind of adapting to fitness lifestyle is exactly what you said. It's just start making healthier choices, right? Put the ring down, put the pizza down, put the Chinese food down every week, put the Cokes and all the sugary drinks away, right? Just start making healthier choices. The biggest thing that I think people should avoid, and you see it a lot of times, right? Whenever you're going to start like a new diet or a new fitness regimen, everyone gets super motivated and they want to go, full speed, super gung ho about it. So they do this entire lifestyle change. No sugary drinks, no bad foods whatsoever, 100% strict dieting, working out 5, 6, 7 days a week. Crazy, right? What happens? They burn out super fast.
They're going to crash and burn quick.
Yeah. So what I always tell everybody is, listen, I don't want you making a complete lifestyle change because you won't stick to it. Motivation is high at first and then it dies down fast. Make small changes. First step, like you said, breakfast. Breakfast, the first day of the meal, first meal of the day. So you start out right, you're going to probably make better choices throughout the day. So that's the first part, right? Once you start making healthier choices, the next step is to baseline your diet and your fitness, right? And what I mean by baseline is you need to start eating the same amount of meals, and whatever right here. I got some notes. You see me looking over here. Yeah, so you can start by eating the same meals or the same macros, right? And then if you start working out, keep that workout frequency consistent over the few weeks. So once you baseline everything, give that a couple weeks. Your body's going to find its set point, and you're going to see your weight's going to balance out at a certain number, and your look's going to balance out. Once you find that baseline, that's when you can start making changes, right? And when you make changes, you don't want to make drastic changes. You make one change at a time. So depending on what your goal is, we'll say it's weight loss, right? Now that you have your baseline weight, your diet, maybe you can remove some carbs. Maybe you can increase your activity level, add in some cardio. Maybe do 20 minutes 3 times a week on the treadmill. You can increase your intensity at the gym. Make these minor changes. Give those changes, a good 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. Your body will change, it'll adapt. Once you hit that plateau again, that's when you make another change. Don't make these crazy big rash changes, right? Don't remove a meal or pull all your carbs. Minor changes will yield longer and better results, right?
2 things I'd like to add to that too is one, don't be afraid to ask questions to anybody. Not even if you hire a coach, whatever, that's another topic. But you see someone in the gym that looks like they know what they're doing, ask them. Don't be afraid. If they blow you off, that's on them. Go ask somebody else.
Yeah.
I can at least speak for me and the people that I know in this community. We'll stop and explain and help you with whatever you need.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you some foods that you should be eating, something like that. It's how you're going to learn. Because if you go on the internet, you're going to find some fad diet. It's going to be all kinds of stuff. Feel free to ask all kinds of questions to anybody that looks like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And number 2, which I see this quite often actually, is you're going to fail. You're going to fall off. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just start over the next day. There's no need that if you're at work and you walk by, someone brought Krispy Kreme donuts and you eat 5 or 6 of them, you add an hour of cardio that night.
Yeah.
The damage is done. Just go about the day, do your normal stuff, start over the next day.
So yeah, start the next day, but also if you have those 5 Krispy Kreme donuts at 12 o'clock on a Monday, that doesn't mean the rest of your diet needs to be out the window the rest of the day.
Correct.
You can go right back to your diet the next meal. Stick to it.
Yeah, that's what I meant by start over the next day.
Yeah.
You continue the rest of that day normal, but definitely the next day it didn't happen. Go about it.
Yeah. So, and that's a good point. So, like when I have clients, I give them cheat meals. Right? If you're in the off season, I give you a cheat meal every weekend. It's just something to look forward to, something to make you feel normal. And I think a big aspect that a lot of people miss in this world is maintaining that social life. Humans, we're social animals. We need to have some normalcy. And how else are you going to hang out with friends? And there's not too many things you can do that doesn't revolve around food, right? So it's just something to look forward to. It's a cheat meal.
Yeah. And I tell my clients that all the time is you have to live your life.
Yeah.
I got a guy I train that he's legitimately crazy. Like I'm not saying like locked up, but like
Yeah.
this guy's just gone. Like when he's in prep, he sleeps on the floor just to be more hard and core into
Oh,
it.
like Kevin Levrone,
Uh,
huh?
and trust me, he's one of my he's a great friend of mine. He's one of my best competitors. But he'll fall into that same stature of he'll fall off sometimes. It's rare, very, very, very rare, but it'll happen. And he understands what happens and goes about with it. But you just have to keep pushing, keep going forward with it, and you'll find the way.
Yep. Yeah, and you bring up good points too. Just kind of go back a little bit too. Is ask questions, right? But also be wary of asking too many people the same question because there's a lot of information out there, and today it's almost like information overload a lot of the times. I typically say, follow one person really closely, follow their principles. You start asking too many people too many questions, and you're going to get too many different. There's way too many ways to skin a cat, and if you start mixing and matching protocols and plans and tips, it might not go the way you want it to go to.
Yeah, that and it's if they're asking the same question to 10 different people, they're just looking for the answer they want.
Yeah, it's a lot of times just looking for yeah,
The what do they call that stuff? The cream you would put on your stomach to lose belly fat.
stuff that Ronnie's using now.
I don't even remember. I don't. It works. It was the It Works program.
Okay.
That's what everyone's looking for is they had to lose the weight and do the minimal effort, like the sweatbands on the stomach and all that. It's
Yeah.
like you're just wasting money. Just stop.
Yeah. Listen, man, a good buddy of mine. He's definitely old school. People come to him in the gym and ask questions all the time. He's an actual pro, phenomenal physique, older. He's 53. Dude has the body of a freaking 20-year-old, right? Ripped all year long too. But people ask him questions at the gym all the time, and he gives them homework assignments. He says, go home, read some Lane Norton stuff, look that up online, and then let me see you in the gym here, consistently working hard and correctly for a few weeks, and then come back to me, tell me what you learned, and then I'll give you some tips. And it's a good method, man, because a lot of people will come and ask you questions, and then go to the next guy asking the same question, go to the next guy asking the same question, and they're just looking, like I said, they're looking for the easy answer, and a lot of them aren't even really looking. They just want information for free.
Yeah.
And how many times have you helped someone out, that give them free information, maybe even gone above and beyond and like written them out a little diet, written them out a workout plan, and they don't follow through with it. So it's like, what's the point? Show me you want this. Show me you're gonna put in the effort. Do some of your own research. Now I know you're serious, and now I'll actually help you. I'll give you some real tips.
Oh yeah, and that's actually something I do with a lot of the guys that'll, I don't like talking about some of the stuff in the gym, but like even my own clients, when we start talking about, enhancement and all that stuff, I tell them, look, research it. Don't
Yeah,
go on forums, read some medical studies, read profiles, research what this stuff is. Don't go by my word.
yeah,
You need to learn this stuff yourself too.
yeah, yeah.
But it's funny the point you just brought up. It's a mutual guy that we both know from Crunch Days, Johnny.
Yeah. Who?
Uh, and a funny story was he wanted me to train him for a show. And I said, dude, you got a long way to go. You didn't have any muscle, any of that. He weighed, oh, what was it? It was in the 140s.
Okay.
And I started talking to him and all that stuff. And he's like, so what should I do? I said, go home, order a pizza. Matter of fact, order two. You just need to eat. You need to put on weight. So about a week later, I asked him how things were going. He's like, oh, I think I'm going to switch up because I
Wow.
think I'm too big for bodybuilding now. He was 140 something pounds.
Jesus. Who's this?
What was his last name? His name was Johnny something.
Oh, wait, the kid that worked the front desk?
Yeah. I just don't
Sure.
remember his last name.
I know his last name. We'll talk. I'll tell you after. But I know his last name. He
Yeah.
he kind of the perfect example of what we were talking about last week. He just jumps from goal to goal to goal to goal and never really completes any of them. Like for a while, he wanted to do, he's going to be a fighter, and then it was powerlifting, and then apparently it was bodybuilding, and then I'm guessing
It was marathon running.
What was it? Oh, marathon running too.
Marathon runner.
Yeah.
But actually, I think he did get a couple fights in mixed martial arts fights, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay.
I just remember him posting about him a long time ago, and I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
But that was just a funny thing to me about, I'll help you any which way you want. I'll tell you a lot of stuff, but you got to be accepting of it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And unfortunately, he's that kind of person that it's just, it's not going to go anywhere because he's just jumping around too much to take that advice seriously. But all right, man, let's jump into the next topic, and that is coach and client relations. So the way we're gonna address this is, if you're how to find the right coach, and what you want to look for, and then we're also going to address next is what a coach expects from his client, right? So, Sean, what are your tips on how to find a coach, or what should people look for in a coach?
You need to ask around. You need to find people that not only do they train like that look that they want, because I've always been a firm believer that a lot of times, like with a lot of the girls that I train, a lot of the guys that I train, all the guys I train, they all come in the same. They all come in very vascular, very hard and conditioned.
Mhm.
Because I'm not a big guy on getting you, massively full when it comes to stepping on stage. A lot of my girls, and this is another topic for another day, but women love to be full on stage for some reason. They think they have to carb up. We're talking bikini girls.
Yep.
Um, I like to get them super, super dry before they get on stage. So you need to look at their clients and what their end result is, and ask these people questions about the coach.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, because I'll have current clients call me, even past clients, saying, "Hey, I referred them to you. This is what I told them." But these are things you need to talk to them about. And then also pay very close attention to that first phone call.
Mhm.
Um, I can at least say for me, I hate texting when it comes to talking to clients this way.
Yeah.
That first phone call, it's going to take some time. I'm going to get to know you. You're going to get to know me. Pay attention to the questions they ask. There is a lot of information we need.
Yeah.
Some of it might be a little probing as far as like with birth control, medications, physical ailments, but these are things that we need to know in order to help you with this stuff.
Yep.
So if they're not asking you questions, it's just you talking, that's not the right coach. You need to go somewhere else.
Yeah. I agree completely, man. Yeah. That's unfortunately there's a lot of coaches out there. So yeah, exactly to your point. The first thing you want to do is social media is your greatest tool nowadays, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Who are the people you follow? Who are the physiques that, not necessarily you want to look exactly like, but who are the physiques that you admire? Ask those people, hey, who's your coach? Ask them what they like about their coach, what they don't like about their coach. Ask them if they've had, what should I look out for? If they had any bad experiences with the previous coaches. That's all free information nowadays.
Yep.
Pay attention to. Here's a big one. This is where I made a mistake in the past. Don't just go with a coach that shows you their highlight reel, right? Everyone's going to show their highlight reel. Nowadays, a lot of the coaches are posting, their best guys, and you don't necessarily see the beginning stages, because a lot of times they get someone that's already good and or molded, and they just make them a little better. Look for big transformations. Who have they brought in that you know looked like shit in the beginning and now looks like a superstar?
Yep.
That's an idea of a good coach, right? It's really easy to take someone with a fast metabolism, great genetics, and make them look great. But who has made someone that looks normal and then made them look great on stage? Um, you want to see if we're looking for a good coach. Yeah. So, like you just said, when you talk to the coach, don't let them blindly tell you what the plan's going to be. They need to ask. There should be questions about digestion. There should be questions about, unfortunately, bathroom frequency. How's your sleep been? What's your current diet look like? What kind of supplements do you currently take? Any injuries? There's going to be a lot of, like I said, a lot of probing questions in there. So, either it's going to be a phone consultation or it'll be a client intake form, but it should never be someone that just blindly takes you on and sends you a plan without getting information. And the same thing with your check-ins. To your check-ins, they should have a list of questions that they want to hear from every week.
Yep.
Um,
One
yeah,
thing that I've seen recently or heard of is these coaching teams also is you'll talk to, I guess, their intake person, and then they divvy you off to another coach, all the information you've told them. That should be a red flag from the get-go. I
yeah,
mean, I get a lot of these people, they want to be a part of a big team, all this stuff, but you're going to get what you get.
yep,
If you take on a coach, if you get a coach that has 5 to 10 clients like you and me, this isn't our day job. We do this just for fun, a little bit of side money, whatever it happens to be. I pay a lot more attention to my clients than someone that has 100, 150 clients. You can make a phone call to me. You can call me. If I'm awake, I'll answer the phone.
mhm,
A lot of these other coaches, you send an email. We've talked about this before. You'll be lucky if they respond to that email within 2 to 3 weeks.
yeah, yeah. A lot of these, and I'm not calling anybody out, but there's a lot of big name coaches that pay a lot more attention to their superstar athletes than they do to their average run of the mill clients. Yeah, listen, man, I don't take on more than 15, 20 clients max at a time. There's no way I could possibly I could give these clients the attention they need if I'm taking 50 or 100 clients. I have no idea how they manage all that stuff.
I, I, I can say this much. Probably my favorite coach out there, and that's one thing too. I'll refer clients to a different coach if I don't feel
Mhm.
comfortable with you. I've referred many people say I think this person would be a better coach for you and all that.
Yeah,
But There's one guy out there that last I remember him saying he had 300 some clients, was a guy named Blue Taylor.
Yeah.
And he's honestly, I think he's probably the best coach out there when it comes to bodybuilding.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
those guys that do it full time. We
yeah.
don't. This isn't our full time job. We have day jobs.
Oh, I'd shoot myself.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So I mean, and don't get me wrong, the amount of competitors they have doesn't mean everything. It's just you have to look at the way they communicate. Are they going to pay attention to you?
Yep.
You know, because that's what you need.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to get feedback, and you need to be able to. You need to feel like your concerns are being taken care of.
Yep.
If you're emailing this coach every week and you're saying, hey, I'm having this issue, or my stomach doesn't feel right with this, and they're not making changes, they're not responding to those questions, that's probably not a good coach. I've been there, and I went. Who I worked with in the past. I did 6 months with this individual. No names here. I'm not going to bash anybody, but I did 6 months with the individual. About 3.5 more of the off season. I went an entire off season without getting a single email back. This is a top. He thinks he's a top level coach.
He thinks he's the best coach, I think.
He's definitely got the biggest ego, and he thinks he's the best coach there is. Yeah. I didn't get a single. I did not for the entire offseason. I told you, I started my offseason at 235.6. Right. 3.5 months later, when I started prep, I weighed 235.6. I didn't get a single change. My weight didn't change. My look didn't change. Nothing.
And see, the thing is, some people would try to say, hey, well, you should have done something. You should have changed something up. You're paying this guy.
I'm paying him.
This guy has such a big vision about himself that he should be able to get going with it and step on the gas and get going with things. But he never did, and you never got progress. And that's on the coach at that point. Like, I don't care what people say about the competitor. If you're not responding to the client, that's all on the coach.
Yeah. Yeah, you made a good point. Yeah, his vision. And visually, I did not look better at the end of my off season.
No, you actually, and I told you this too, you actually regressed. I remember you sent me the photos. I was like, dude, you actually regressed somehow.
I'm telling you, man, that diet, I had, I remember on my training days, I had 6 grams of fat. Nothing. Huh? 6 grams of fat.
And not 66.
6. Yeah, that was from my eggs in the morning. That was it. That was the only thing I had in the diet. My off day, I think I had the eggs, and then I also had 2 servings of a half tablespoon of oil with my meals. Yeah, that was it. That's all I had for fats. No, yeah, I showed you pictures. I think I lost about 10 pounds of stage weight.
Easily.
Yeah.
Very easily. Your skin was very unconditioned and loose too.
It was a mess. That was 2018 was by far 2019 was by far my worst stage look ever. Yeah, it's horrible.
But there's coaches out there, they'll treat you like a number, and the further people get into this industry, they'll learn who they are. You'll hear horror stories, and you'll hear some BS ones that you got to weed through. But for the most part, there's a lot of horror stories out there about coaches that they don't care about the average person, average competitor.
Yeah.
If you're not a competitor that's top notch, that just by me training you as a client doesn't bring me more clients, they don't care about you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, a good lesson from that is that it's unfortunately in this industry, it's not always, Jesus Christ, how do you say this? Unfortunately, in this industry, what you pay for is not what you always get, right?
Oh, God,
sometimes these high paid coaches are not good for the average competitor.
I actually just started training someone. She sent me her last diet, and don't quote me on the numbers, but I think she paid the person, it was around $1,200 for 2 months of training. Yeah. But when I saw the diet, I remember messaging the person that referred her to me, and I said, please tell me that this is not what she ate. Like, there's more to this diet. He goes, no, that's literally what she ate. That's why I sent her to you. It was something like 1 egg in the morning, and I think some like oatmeal, something like that. And then like meal 2 was like a salad and a thing of string cheese. And then there was a third meal. That was it. Just 3 meals. And I think the third meal was like, it just said like lean protein and carb source. And that was $1,200.
Did he give her like a table of carb sources or a table of fats?
I don't know. She basically, that is one thing I'll do as a coach is you don't have to give me the exact stuff, but I literally will ask you, what do you typically eat on a normal daily basis? So I kind of know what's gotten you in this predicament you're in, whatever it is.
Right.
But she just sent me because that's what she was still following while she was away, and it was the same plan. And I was looking, I was like, you paid how much for this? And she told me, I was like, there is no way in hell I wouldn't give this to a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing in this. And they were telling her that she was like a couple weeks out from a show. And I was like, look, you have some good structure. I was like, but you're at the very beginning of a prep. You're nowhere near 2, 3 weeks out from a show.
That's the thing, man. She's not eating anything. So what do you pull? What kind of changes can you give a person if they're already eating nothing?
And it's not even that. It's you look at the amount of mandatory nutrients of amino acids and fats that your body needs on a daily
Right.
basis. Her organs aren't functioning right. She's not digesting whatever food does make it to the stomach.
Yeah.
Her body's in complete failure mode. So no, you're not going to shed fat. You're going to shed muscle. You're going to hold water, and you're going to put on more fat in that situation.
Yeah. That's a big thing a lot of people don't understand. And this is for a lot of new people too, like the importance of protein, right? So just to kind of break it down very generally, your body is always in a state of protein turnover. So what does that mean? Your Everything in your body is made of protein, right? Protein is the building block of life, essentially. So your body, your cells, your organs are all made of protein, and at all times of the day, your body's metabolizing those proteins and pushing out the dead ones and accepting new nutrients. So you need to take in a baseline of protein just to support your function, your organs, your skin, your hair, your nails, just to support all those, right? And consequently, muscle or excessive skeletal muscle is not essential for the body. So your body is going to metabolize that protein and deliver it to the organs and all your other necessary functions of life before it delivers it to the protein. So you need to take in a certain base level of protein just to meet those demands. And then you can take in an excess to support the excess muscle you have.
Correct. And the same thing goes with fats. With your essential fats, they're a thriving part of your body's daily basis.
Well, so just going back real quick to what I told you about my off season. Why is fat so important? Why
It,
did
it,
I lose muscle?
it's literally the easiest way to explain it is the fat is what literally creates the membrane for the muscle cell. So with you in an off season and you're a bigger guy, because you said you were 236.
Yeah, 236, 235.6. Well, yes, 236.
And you were at 6 grams of fat in an off season.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell that you can have any muscle put on with 6 grams of fat. You're not even meeting your daily balance to think.
No, for even
I mean,
hormones, anything pretty much.
no, nothing. I mean, you're not. I know for a fact your hormones had to be down. Your stool had to be hell. It had to be hell to take a shit.
Then I was so exhausted, like physically and mentally, this entire 3.5 months. I was just like, when you're at like the end of like a super long week, crazy training, crazy work schedule, you get that your eyes just have that burning sensation.
Oh yeah,
That's what I felt for 3.5 months straight. Actually, even throughout the whole prep. So for 6 months, I had nothing.
that's what. See, when you told me, I thought originally you said 60 when you told me a couple weeks ago. I didn't know it was 6. I was what?
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I could maybe understand if you're like 3 days out from a show and he's trying some type of technique on you, but an off season, man, I'm going to be loading you up.
Yeah. Yeah. So just while we're on the topic, while we covered why is protein essential, why is fat essential, why what is the purpose of carbs in a diet, right? What's the purpose of carbs if you're gonna yeah? So what's just the general purpose of carbs in a diet? What's their function?
Basically, carbohydrates, we know they don't do anything for the body that needs survival,
Right. So it's
but
the
what
only
it does,
macronutrient that's not essential in a diet.
correct. But what it does for someone that's a bodybuilder, works out, endurance athlete, anything like that, is it provides glycogen for energy. It stuffs the muscles full for contraction. It has a lot of purposes for moving water around. The main thing is for energy. That is the main purpose of it.
Yeah. Carbohydrates, like I said, carbohydrates are an energy source, right? So actually, carbohydrates and fats can both be used as an energy source, but the
Correct.
preferred energy source for the body is carbohydrates. So what you want to do when you're kind of structuring your own plan is you want to find like your baseline of carbohydrates that'll just keep your muscles full and will supply energy for your body, right? Um, Lost my train of thought here.
Well, a good example of that is every person's going to be very different with that. Not
Right.
just because of a lot of people go by what your current body weight is. Oh, you need to have X amount of
Yep.
carbohydrates. Someone like me, I can literally go 50 grams of carbs a day, feel energetic, fine. Workouts are great,
Yep.
everything. You can give me 400 grams of carbs a day, I go crazy. It's the same thing. I don't fluctuate much with no carb, like high carb to low carb. There's
Yeah.
not much of a change with me. But I've seen some people where I can cut 20 grams of carbs. It's
Mhm.
like a death note to them. Like they're done.
Yeah. So that at that point, you've nailed down their balance.
Yep.
So that's the point I was going for is you don't need to take in an excess amount of carbs because it's just going to be metabolism to fat. All you need is enough carbs to fill the muscles full of glycogen, and then you need the carbs in your system pre-workout to sustain energy for immediate ATP production.
Correct. And your muscles will also store carbohydrates from the previous day. That's one thing a lot of people don't know too is,
Yes.
you know, your body becomes trained. Your body is finely tuned. So yeah, your body will understand at some point of that meal you had at 3 o'clock, it's going to hold on to those carbohydrates for that fuel source for the workout at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
But also understand that cheat meal you had the night before is going to play a massive factor in the workout the next day or
Yes.
the day after. Same with the nutrients. If you have a high fat intake, fatty meal, like I don't know, you have a extra cheese and pepperoni pizza.
Mm-hmm.
The next day you're gonna be pretty sluggish. Given you got a lot of carbohydrates, but you got a crap ton of fats that are gonna slow your digestion down, and it's gonna mess with you.
Definitely, yeah. And so that's another good point I kind of want to bring up too. Why do you put fats? So why would you put fats in with like a high carbohydrate meal?
There's a multitude of reasons. A lot of times it's just to get them in throughout the day, just to hit your mark. Because depending on how the diet is structured,
Yeah.
how your workout timing is structured, that's one thing I like is I try to tell people if you can always try to work out around the same time of the day each week or each day
Yeah.
of the week. But it's a lot of times, like I think I've told you before, like I'm pretty popular with it when we're dieting real hard. I'll tell you every night before you go to bed, taking a tablespoon of peanut butter.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand why, and it's factored in for a reason. But the main reason why is it's when you're going to bed. We've all done it when dieting. You'll be up for 4 or 5 hours just because your stomach's cramping, you're growling. You just need food. That's going to slow down your digestion a little bit, just to put you at mind where you can fall asleep or
Yeah.
get your workout in. Because I don't know how some people can do it, but working out on an empty stomach, I can't do it.
No, but then so your last point was the main point I was trying to get out of you is the fats slow down digestion. So if you're having a super carb heavy meal, and typically in the off season, I don't know how you structure yours, but for myself, for my clients, if they're in the off season, they're deep into the off season, their food's really high. I like to give them faster or higher glycemic foods like white rices, white potatoes, those kinds of things, just because it digests so much easier. But a way to control that so you're not getting a massive insulin dump is to add in those fats.
Yep.
Same idea for when, like I said, going to bed, but also pre-workout. I like to add in, a higher amount of carbs there, and then one serving of fat typically, and that's just to sustain the energy throughout the workout as well, so you don't crash halfway through.
Yeah, and I'm basically the same. I believe in high glycemic carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, throughout the day, except for like oatmeal, stuff like that. That's going to last throughout the day. And that's not necessarily to say that I'm right and these other coaches that use brown rice or sweet potato are wrong. It's just that's my philosophy and it works. I've found a way to work it. And the same people that do brown rice and all the slower glycemic carbs, they found a way that they make it work that they're more comfortable with.
Yeah.
So that's also something that you need to find in a coach, on that aspect of what type of sources do they use when they diet. That's something I asked a coach back when I was looking for coaches is how do you structure your diets? And I actually had one guy that he's not known as a coach. He's more known as a competitor, high end on national level. That he said, I use protein and carbs, no fats.
Really?
So that's where I was like, okay. I just moved on to the next coach. And actually, that's when I got with Juan Morel. And that's one thing I will say. If you're looking for more of a big name coach,
mm-hmm.
that man will feed you. That man will feed you a lot of food.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah, that guy eats. That guy eats like a freaking monster.
I mean, man, like when he sent me his diet, it took me, and I used to tell people it takes you a week to get used to the food. And, I'm a pretty big eater most of the time.
Yep.
I mean, I'll say one of the meals I had was before bed. It was 16 ounces of red meat, 16 ounces of potato.
16 ounce
of red meat.
protein meals?
Yep. Hey, I got up to 240. I got a 240 quick, and pretty solid at that.
Yeah.
But I'm also a firm believer. I don't believe in forcing weight on.
No, okay.
You do, you pay for it. It's not fun.
You do, man. So, I mean, everyone knows I was with Dave for pretty much the last, 4 years of my bodybuilding career. I just recently left him, no hard feelings at all. So I love Dave. I love his theories. They just work. I just want to try something different. But he pushes food, but he's more high fat, high protein, moderate carbs. So like, my off season, like last year I got up to 260. I was at 7 meals a day. I think my carbs were at like 60 grams each meal. And protein got up to 9 ounces a meal. But most I ever did with him was 10-ounce meals. Those were in previous years, but like 10 ounces, that's a lot of meat, dude. I can't imagine doing 60.
Oh, yeah. Dude, and at that point, I wasn't even hungry. So I'm sitting down with the beautiful steak and potato, and I'm like, I don't want to eat this.
Dude. Dave does the same thing. He gives me cheat meals every Saturday. Yeah, dude, at my off seasons, every year it got to the point where like I did not, even look forward to the cheat meal. It was more for me. It was more stressful because it's like I gotta get all this fucking food in, and I still gotta get this cheat meal at the end of the day. Like I can't do. I'd get mad. She's like, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "I don't even want to fucking go. I don't
Yep.
want to go because I'm not hungry."
I actually talked to Juan one time. I said, "Hey man," I was like, I'm having trouble with my cheat meal. He's like, "Oh man, not me. I'm big in donuts, ice cream." I was like, "Dude, I don't eat sweets.
Yeah.
Pizza gives me heartburn." And I was like, "Can my cheat meal just be like not eating something? Like, could it be like not having a meal?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "No, you got to eat something, man." I was like, "I really don't want to eat though."
So I know there's a lot of like hardcore people out there that don't even believe in cheat meals, right? Listen, dude, it's like we talked about it earlier. I think it's essential to kind of keep some sanity in your life.
Yeah.
And one meal a week. So if you have six meals 7 days a week, that's 42 meals. So if one of your 42 meals is a cheat meal, it's not going to do anything for you.
No.
Um,
And that also goes on the coach too to know how far they can push the client
yeah,
and what their goal is. If this is your first time competing at some regional show, I'm not throwing the ringer at you. I'm going to hold back a lot because I want you to compete again. I don't want you to do this for one show if you even make it to the show and you're like, yeah, screw this.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to make it a fun atmosphere for you, stuff like that. But then, when we're talking, we're doing a national level show, want to turn pro, you're getting everything I got. And, one of my clients I told before, I said, look, there's going to be a big difference doing national level show with me versus regional shows. And she found out real quick. It's a big difference.
yeah,
Real quick.
yeah, yeah. Hey, so we got real far off topic, right?
Usually.
We left off. We talked about what to look for in a coach. Now I want to turn into what is it? What does a coach expect from his client? So what?
Feedback, feedback, feedback.
Yeah,
That's all I ever ask for. Um, and you have to be in detail. I don't want to hear the week was good.
right.
You know, I'm sure something went wrong, but there's a lot of things that could be uncomfortable for you to talk about with a coach, and that's why, like, I try to really be inviting and really get to know you. That way you feel comfortable telling me if there's issues with, your bowel movements, with libido, your mood, stuff like that. You really need to tell people these things because if you didn't lose weight that week, but everything was fine, well, now I'm looking at it, okay, well, something's wrong with the diet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you didn't tell me that you and your spouse got into a big fight, and then you
Yes.
got fired at work, and so you're stressing out. These things, I don't need to know the exact situation, but I need you say it was a real stressful week personally.
Yeah.
That's fine. I've had chronic diarrhea. I haven't gone to the bathroom in 4 days. I'm not hungry is a big one. Like if you go from each week that I look forward to my meals, and one week it's like I'm just not hungry.
Yeah.
Why? Same. This is a big thing with me too. Is same with when you cheat. If you fall off the diet, not a standard cheat meal. If you cheat, don't hide it. Don't tell me 4 or 5 days later. Tell me when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
We'll walk through. Okay, why did it happen? Did you just have a moment of weakness? Were you craving these Krispy Kreme donuts and you just said screw it and you went and got them? So I look at that as a coach of you having these cravings is your body's way of saying I'm missing something I need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you caved in. So that means, okay, I need to now structure your diet differently, do things that way. So the more feedback you give me, the better things can happen.
Yeah. That's the number one thing is full transparency and honesty. If you cheated that week, tell me. It doesn't listen, off season, not that big of a deal, right? Pre-contest, a big deal. Just tell us. Full transparency is an absolute must if you want to get the results. I got a very simple rule with my clients. If you cheat, don't expect changes, right?
Yeah.
Or if that's the off season, or if it's in prep, if you mess up a lot, I can't make changes because you weren't on the plan. So if you didn't eat a meal, I can't help you. Follow
Yep.
the plan so we know where you are, and then we'll make changes and address them.
And another thing too is, as a coach, I view it as the more effort you put into it, the more I'm going to put into it.
Yes. Yeah.
I currently have a girl that she's been with me for 2 months. I haven't, or she's been with me for a while. But the last 2 months she's paid me. She's followed the plan. I know nothing though. I have not received update pictures, anything.
Yeah.
And I think she pays me on the 14th or 15th this month. She'll pay. I can't change anything. I don't know what you look like. I don't know what's going on in life. And I'll say, hey, look, I need updates. And I normally don't chase people down.
Yeah.
And I'll say, hey, look, I need updates. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll get them to you. Nothing. You have to remember, you're not my only client.
Yeah.
This isn't my job. I'm doing this to help you.
I follow up one time. That's my rule for myself. If you're my client and I don't hear from you for a couple weeks, I'll follow up with you one time. If I still don't hear back from you, you'll never hear from me again.
Yeah.
I've got other clients. I've got a life. I can't just keep tabs on you. So So yeah, that goes right into it, right? So full transparency, um, proper check-ins on time, same time every week. I think another important thing is photos. Let me see your full body in good light, right? I can't do these half bathroom pictures or just this really out of frame fuzzy picture. Stand about 8 feet back, 8, 10 feet back, full body picture, same light every weekend.
I had a client a long time ago, probably the worst client I ever had. Um, she sent me updates one time. She was nuts. She was like 4 weeks out from a show. I mean, I had other clients that were friends with her that they were telling me that she was posting stuff on Snapchat, her eating McDonald's, hot dogs, cake, all this stuff.
What a lot of people, what do you understand? Like we follow each other on social media. I'm gonna see the food you're posting. I know you
I might not post stuff on social media, but trust me, I pay attention.
yeah,
Um, and trust me, I've done this long enough to where I know what to expect at certain points of your diet.
yeah,
So she sent me updates one time, and it was the funniest thing to me is she said, "Oh, the lighting's just not right today in my room." And in the photo, I can literally see two lamps behind her that are not. But anyway, so she was going to where she would take her photos and she would do the whole chest lift like this, where she could see the shadow of her ab
yeah,
barely.
yeah,
I was like, come on, like you have to give me. I need to see your flaws so I can tell you a how to hide them, b what to correct.
yeah, yeah.
You're just gonna make it worse for yourself. You have to be transparent with us.
All right. Let's we got some questions here today. So let's roll into some questions. Question one, I'll let you answer this one first. Cardio in the off season. What are your thoughts?
100%. Um, no crazy amount, anything like that, but you need to do it to stabilize blood pressure.
Yep.
Especially if you're an enhanced athlete, it's going to help with the cholesterol, with the amount of food you're getting. And one thing a lot of people don't realize is it's going to speed up your metabolism. One
Yes.
thing that happens with a raised metabolism, you get hungrier. So that means more food. More
Yep.
food means more muscle. It's going to be a huge benefit.
Yep. I agree 100%. That's exactly what I was going to say. The only other thing, yeah, keep appetite up, blood pressure. The last piece I wanted to mention with it is it's going to help keep your cardiovascular endurance up. And that's important when it comes to training. You want to fail from muscular fatigue, not cardiovascular fatigue. And
Yep.
I'll admit it myself. Previously I did not do a lot of cardio in the off season, and like especially something like squats, I would have to rack the weight because I couldn't breathe.
And that's something we can do another whole video on, is just like squatting at failures. A lot of times it's going to be your respiratory system going to fail before your legs, or
Yep.
your lower back before your legs.
Yep. Okay. Here's another one. Are the heck questions of this? Huh. Okay. Oh, I mistyped it. Are compound movements the best way to work out for bulking? Rookie question, but any info is great. So I'll take a lead this real quick. Compound movements are the most important part of the entire workout. That's what your workout should be based around. It should be based around what compound movements you want to perform for that workout. My first thing I want to say about it is watch the video on my YouTube channel, how to approach training, and I'll just do a quick recap over here. But I don't think training should change throughout the year, whether you're in pre-contest or whether you're in off-season bulking. Right? Training, your approach to training should always remain the same. For me, it's activation, so you need to activate the muscles. An example is like if your compound for the day is squats, I would say definitely do hamstring curls and definitely do some leg extensions first. Maybe some body weight lunges too. But you want to get those muscles woken up. You want to get them firing. You want to get a little blood in there so you can feel that muscle contract, right? So first thing is activate, then move on to your compound movements and your heavy work. Then do your pump and accessory movements. And then if you want at the end, you can do some stretching type movements. Like on a leg day, you might want to end with a straight leg deadlift, or on back day, you might want to end with some lat pull downs, that kind of stuff.
Yep. And I fully agree. Your workout, most important part is the compound movement. But like we said in the last video, there's no right or wrong way to work out. If you
Right.
want to try pre-exhaustion, that's fine. But know that your main goal that day is a bent over row, things like that. Don't forget your diet. These things factor into an off season. So yes, you should stick with your compounds, but that's not the only priority.
Exactly. Yep. Uh, since bodybuilding raises testosterone, what is the most awkward place you've gotten an erection?
Oh God. I'm sure every dude's got one at the gym at some point.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I remember this was back when I was still in the Air Force, right? and we were getting ready for a base wide exercise, which is basically just like pretending you're going to get ready to go to war, go on deployment. And so I was a maintainer. I was an F-22 crew chief. We're upstairs in the ops auditorium. So it's like the pilot's auditorium. And our senior master at the time was giving us like the big brief. And I don't know what was going on. I was like, I know I was like falling asleep, but I got like a boner. And I remember this, like I was like looking down, like figuring out how to like adjust this thing. he must have thought I was sleeping because then he called on me, and I had to like, he asked me like, hey, what, Aaron Palmer, what's your reporting statement going to be? And I was like, oh, fuck. So I had to like stand up, and I did like this half awkward like stand up, like push down. It
I know
was,
my back hurts a little bit.
yeah, it was humiliating.
That's a tough one, man. That's an awkward question for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. They got one answer out of it. When's Big Palmy going to hit the Olympia stage? If I ever get hired to clean it, that'll probably be my only chance to ever get on there.
That, or if we go together, I'll make sure you're drunk and I'll dare you to streak across the stage.
That's if it stays in. That's if it goes back to Vegas. It might stay in Florida now. They're rumoring, right?
Yeah,
Here's a good one: dumbbell pullovers or machine pullovers.
machine all day.
Yeah,
It's more tension. To me, the pullover is more effective for a back movement versus chest.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, so you need to keep that tension on it, and the pullover machine itself is it's the greatest exercise for the back. I think. Like a lot of people could say compounds as far as bent over rows, pull ups. I would say literally a machine pullover is one of
Yep.
the best things for the back.
Yeah, I agree completely. Machine. So reason why I don't like dumbbells is because halfway through the dumbbell movement, right? So once you get the weight directly above you, there's no more tension anymore. So you're missing
Yep.
on 50% movement. Machines are set up where the weight's behind you and typically below you. So there's a constant tension. But just think about it, right? So lat contraction is basically shoulder extension, right? So this is all lat, right? So if you're gonna do a dumbbell pullover, all you have is this, and then you're not even getting peak contraction out of it.
That and a lot of people try to focus chest on it, which I've done before. Like, and actually, this is a good exercise is to do dumbbell pullovers on a decline bench, but
Mhm.
that is strictly for chest. That is
Okay.
no back movement involved in it. You'll have a little bit just because of the tension getting it going and all that, but so many people do them wrong because it's the fact of I've never been a fan outside of compound movements of shifting weight tension from one muscle to another. So if you're doing dumbbell pullovers, which are not a compound movement, you're shifting weight from the back to the chest,
Yeah.
and that's not what you want to do. You
I
know,
personally never do them for chest ever.
no, like I said, I've done it before with on a decline bench and just doing that because you have a different angle, and
Mhm.
it's pretty effective on the chest doing it that way. But it was done strictly for chest. I wasn't going far back. I wasn't squeezing the back.
Yep. Here's a good one that I'm sure a lot of people struggle with: how to manage being a competitor with an unsupported spouse.
That's a tough one. A lot of that goes to man. If you're enhanced or not. If you're enhanced, I never ever think that you should hide that from your spouse.
No.
Ever. Whether they live with you or not, that you're just asking for trouble.
Yep.
That's a dumb situation. And we said before, this is a very selfish sport.
Mhm.
So maybe just talk to the spouse, see what issues they have with it. I've heard of issues where people have you're just trying to look good for other girls or other guys.
Yeah.
Find out what the issue is, get them involved in it. If you really want them to be around it and you want both of your spouse and bodybuilding to be a part of your life, try to get them involved in it. They don't need to be in the gym with you every day eating the same foods. Just talk through it to them. Let them go through it with you, not the pains.
So
You take that.
I agree that it's something you need to talk about with your spouse, right? And this is just me thinking. Fortunately for myself, and fortunately for you, both of our spouses are into this world. But I think for a lot of people, I've been in relationships before where they haven't been into it, and I think a lot of it stems from jealousy and possibly low self confidence, right? So now
Mm.
you're going to be in a place where you're doing self improvement, your body's getting better, you can be around people that have the same mindset, their body's looking better, and when your body looks better, you're more attractive. So maybe it's a self confidence issue. Maybe they don't feel like they're going to be sexy enough for you. Talk to them, explain to them why you're doing it, right? But I think a few things you can do to kind of help that out is we have a strict meal schedule, but that doesn't mean that you can't eat meals together.
Correct.
When it comes for dinner, like dinner times, probably the most important meal with your spouse. Take your food out of the Tupperware, put it on a plate. Maybe you can eat your prep meals, but eat dinner with them. Or maybe even if you're in the off season, it's not gonna be that big of a deal if you guys eat the same food. You cook a regular dinner from that night, or your wife cooks a regular dinner for you guys tonight, and you eat the same foods they're going to eat in the off season for maybe once a month or something special.
Yeah.
Um,
You got to make time for them.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and then get involved in one of their hobbies. You know what I mean? Or get a hobby that you guys can both participate in together if they don't want to work out.
Yep, correct. I
Just
agree.
a few tips, man. But that's definitely a very uncomfortable thing, and it's very challenging. And I made another video of that on the YouTube channel too. But it's just your support system is going to be your success or your failure in this whole
100%.
for sure.
And that's something kind of just to go back a couple steps of one thing that I ask to my clients is, do you have a support system?
Yeah,
Because there will be times that you get off from the gym or off from work late. You got to prep your meals. You have no one to help you. If they're not supportive of you, you're gonna have a tough time. There's gonna be days that you just don't want to do anything when you get home because you're tired. You just want to take a shower, go to bed.
yep,
That's gonna happen. You need someone to support you with these things because it's a selfish sport. But at the same time, as a good spouse, friend, anything like that, you need to return the favor.
definitely, definitely. Here's a good one. Any major differences in prepping natties to enhance competitors?
There's a lot to it. It's not as much as you would think. I think that the people that are enhanced, they tend to try to get away with a lot more because
Hmm.
they can. I can give them a lot more calories. They can cheat, and it's going to be hard for me to notice. Or when they have their cheat meal, it's an all-out buffet.
Yeah,
They'll be bloated for a day or two. No excess results. You can rely more on the drugs and keep the food a lot higher
yeah,
to maintain muscle versus with natural you cannot do that. It's a lot harder of an approach with the food and with the workouts and the cardio schedule with someone that's natural
hmm,
versus enhanced because I have that makeup of doing the enhancement.
yeah, yeah. I think natties are just it's more predictable too. Less
Yep.
variables, less water, less. Like I said, the enhanced guys can get away with a lot more. They might cheat a little more. Natties is pretty straightforward. You got cardio, food, fat burners. It's pretty much all you can really mess with. The other world, there's a lot of more variables to it. Um, let's see here. Victory Barbell asks, do you think CrossFit is a fad? Uh, is it sustainable, or do you think it will fizzle out like Tybo? You gotta call it Billy Blanks like that, man. CrossFit's huge. They got CrossFit gyms. CrossFit's like a lifestyle for these people now. Yeah, the CrossFit. I don't know if it's called CrossFit Cups. They got the CrossFit Opens, but it's a huge world recognized sport. I think it's gonna be around forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that we've all made fun of at some point in our lives, but it's becoming more serious. They've whittled out the BS guys in there.
Yeah,
Um, but it's the same thing of you look at powerlifters, strongman competitors, bodybuilders, and CrossFit.
yeah,
None of us do the same things. We're all completely different. We all make fun of each other about dumb things.
yeah.
But it's definitely not a fad. It's actually very effective for athletes. One that I can tell you about that I've read a story on him was a wrestler actually called Seth Rollins. He used to be strictly bodybuilding. He was very muscular, believe it or not, very fit. And he realized that doing bodybuilding workouts, he didn't have that athleticism that he needed, the mobility, the stretching, the explosiveness,
We're all
because we all know we don't have any of that.
yeah,
So he went to CrossFit and his wrestling got way, way better because he was able to build that muscle and do a lot more explosive movements and be better at.
yeah.
So no, it definitely does have its place, no matter how much people want to hate on it. I'm not a fan of it. I've watched some dumb stuff. I've watched kids drop barbells on their heads because they were doing dumb stuff.
Yeah. So it's definitely a more injury risk sport for, I think, more so for the newer people that are if you're brand new into fitness and you get into CrossFit, you're probably more injury at risk for injury. But as you're more advanced, less.
Yeah. And that goes kind of for all the sports, though. How many times have we seen some kid get in a bodybuilding and he's slinging dumbbells all over the place thinking he's going to have
Yeah.
biceps like Arnold?
Yeah.
Same thing. You're going to see dumb stuff with CrossFit, strongman competitors. We've all seen the dumb stuff. And
Yep.
it's in all aspects. It's just that CrossFit's the new baby on the block. That's the one we're pointing at.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Would you rather your breath smell like a bad fart or your laugh sound like a fart?
Oh, man. I don't like bad breath. So my laugh's got to sound like a fart. I don't like bad breath one bit.
Oh man, I would yeah, I'd rather I don't know, man. I like to laugh though.
I laugh a lot, so I'll be making
What
people
if
laugh a lot
every
more.
time you laughed, what if every time you laughed you farted? Would you want your breath to smell like fart, or every time you laugh, you farted?
Oh, well, either way, something's gonna smell like a fart, so it doesn't matter.
I would pick I would pick farting for sure. Let me see. I got questions in two places here. Um, Someone asked. Let's see here. This one's for me. Uh, what's your goals for this year? A new 1 rep max. What's new? What's new for you? For me, I'm trying to expand my personal training business. I would like to move it. I would like to, yeah, I would like to move it into a commercial location sometime soon. So I'm really working towards that. I actually just registered for massage therapy school. I'll be starting that this year as well. Um, I just drove it an hour and a half down to my buddy down in North Haven to get realigned and fixed. So I need someone up here. I won't be able to work myself, unfortunately, but I know a lot of bodybuilders in the area, and I want to be that guy in Northern Connecticut to help out the my bodybuilding brethren there and fix people because I don't know about you, man, but when I get massages, I want a dude and I want a big dude to massage me. I don't care how big his hands are. The bigger the better because I need them to get deep into those muscle tissues. And a 130-pound girl is not going to get in there deep enough.
Either that
So,
or you need a lady named Helga from Sweden or
yeah.
some
Through
super bony Asian lady that can just dig in with those bony elbows.
the trench. I'm thinking about the trench from Matilda.
Yeah.
For competing, I don't know. I'm torn. My last couple showings were very subpar, not up to my standard. I've definitely got an itch that I need to scratch. So we'll see. I don't know if I definitely won't be competing in the fall. Maybe compete in the summertime. Very up in the air, but I'm definitely more focused on my training and pursuing education. Still training hard, still training like I'm going to compete, but it's not a top priority at the moment for me. Does this ever happen when you're squatting? Does your penis ever go inside you? You know what he's talking about, right? Like when you squat down and like it inchworms itself back inside.
Yeah. It'll like flap in or whatever into the skin.
Are you a folder or a roller in the toilet paper emoji? That's a big one, man. Women, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say most women are rollers, ballers. They just freaking yank the toilet paper and then just clump it all up. It'll be like 13 squares to what they're freaking their pee. I'm a folder. I'm pretty organized. I was in the military. I fold mine nice, sheet by sheet.
Yeah, same here. It's being folded. I'm not trying to waste toilet paper, but especially going after this pandemic. I'm taking care of that stuff.
Oh, I know, dude. It's gonna be cash in the future, right?
Yeah.
I think that might be it. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see here. I know I had a couple more. Where are they at? Screenshot them. I'll let you answer this one. This is fucking
Why,
ridiculous.
why do I get to answer the one and then you start laughing?
All right, it's two of them, but I'm gonna combine it here. Would you? Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather eat butt or if someone pisses in your mouth?
Eat butt. Isn't that voluntary nowadays?
You think? I mean, apparently everyone does it nowadays.
Like, yeah, I'm not into water sports stuff. I'm good on that one.
Well, if I'm going by your rules, I cannot drink anything besides water and coffee. So I'll have to eat the butt.
I don't know the nutrient content in piss. I got to look that up.
I don't know. I know it's high nitrogen and protein, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, you know what then? Maybe I'll drink the piss.
Yeah, might start selling some pre-workout.
It might have some in there for sure. All right, man. I think we covered some good topics today. We covered, how to approach fitness and diet lifestyle if you're doing it by yourself without a coach. Then we talked about client and coach relationships, how to find a coach, and then what a coach to expect from his client. And then we will have some pretty serious questions.
Yeah. I like when you start laughing because I know, all right, someone sent in a joke. What is this?
Oh yeah. All right, man. Good podcast. Thanks for listening. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys next week.